Hi, Tushar. Good morning. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. My name is Georgie. I am one of the co-hosts at Angel Stack. We run a podcast where we can try and get push some PR for early stage founders such as yourself. So to start off with, Tushar, could you tell me something about yourself and any co-founders that you might have involved in your startup?
Hi, Georgie. It's nice meeting you and knowing about your company. Myself, Tushar Sharma. I am the founder and CEO of Axxentraa and Axxent Private Limited. I had done my graduation from VIT, Vellore Institute of Technology. And in 2023, I passed out and I joined Airbus project. Then in December around, I felt like I should start something in last year, 2024. So we worked on many ideas, different ideas in the field, which have been going. Everything we have went out of because our domain is aerospace only. So me and one of my friend Yash Tumar, he is currently in TU Munich, Germany. That is one of the top colleges in aerospace engineering. So currently he is based out of that. So we had done quite a research on different ideas, and this is not the first idea that we are implementing. So we had discussed on different ideas like the jet engine, propulsion engine, tank-based systems, and everything because we had already worked on the systems earlier in the college. Then we felt that this market niche is not yet explored properly. Currently the companies who are in the niche are not giving what the consumers should have, because as a engineer we know that kits are not the kits which we make as engineer. So we are trying to bridge the gap in building the kit and creating a brand legacy. Because if you know, in technology everybody has a curiosity that what is a drone, what is the real world experience, and apart from flying a drone, what are its possible things that you can do with the drone. And that if as a student or as a hobbyist, if you get to know with a kit and building yourself, then it will actually introduce you better. So what we are developing here, if I can give a brief, so we are currently working on two verticals because we are always following the step by step execution process. So currently our first vertical aligns on drone kits with modular add-ons. So our kits will be in two categories. First, if anybody is totally interested, then he can buy the second category. But if you are just a hobbyist and you don't want any drone license, you just want to experience. So we are building a small nano category drone for which license is not required. So the drone kit. Now, one more thing, that there is one more company, Drona Aviation, in the market. It is a big company currently, and it has a stock the valuation of $1.5 million this year. So we are different from that in a way that they are producing the kits and they are having cordless motors in it. Now, as an engineer, we never use cordless motors in drones because of some of the limitations of it. So our kits will be bringing you with the experience that engineer does. Give you a kit which will have BLDC motors, batteries, and everything. That if we are building a drone, we use that. Now, the one thing that our kit has is it will have simple soldering solutions. So if you are buying a kit, you will actually assemble the drone, you will solder, you will do the electronics, you will calibrate, you will program, and then you will fly the drone. So actually everything you will do. And one more thing which we are creating is we are creating a drone ecosystem with that. So you will get an access to our app and website. So in that there will be an AI chatbot. So once if you are having some curiosity or doubt that I am just soldering this wire and it is not working properly because there are many misconnections. So you can directly put that in a simpler way with a photo in the AI chatbot, and it can tell you what wrong you are doing. Because along with that you will be getting some video lectures, but sometimes some students skip that manuals and everything. So you can just go with the AI chatbot and it will make it simpler for you. Second thing, what the app and community does is you will get to interact with like-minded individuals who are actually eager to work in drone and UAVs. So if you are having curiosity, like can we fly the drone underground, or what are its consumption? So you can just discuss there. And apart from this, if you're having any idea which is actually something new and your curiosity is actually real, so our AI chatbot will tell you that this idea is feasible, or it will tell you a way to test the feasibility of the idea. Once you do that, if that idea is really good, so our company will actually call you on board to our office, and we will work on that idea with you, and we will patent that idea on your name. So that is one of the
Interesting.
initiatives that we are taking. Second thing, what we are doing is on every 25 kit sales, we are actually donating one kit to any underprivileged child. We are going to schools in that area. So we are planning is like what is our model. So we are trying to tie up with tier 2 and tier 3 colleges, and in tier 2 and tier 3 colleges in India. So we are trying to collaborate with them because they can actually reach out to more students than us we are reaching out to. And our ideology is to spread this so that everybody, because as an engineer, what the thing lacks here, if I can talk scientifically, is now currently the scientists of matlab, after completing the college and degrees, they are working on BVLOS, that is beyond visual line of sight drones, and it is not yet completed. So basically, if a student of 13, 14 years, if he knows already about a drone, and then after getting everything, he gets to the college, so he can directly work from the second year on this BV laws and other concepts, which are actually the deep interest, or we can say the deeper side of the drone. So the technology enhancement will actually grow faster in the area, and we will get to know advancement of technologies. We will get to learn advancement of technologies very good, very briefly. Now, if you are making a drone, you will get bored after flying it 10 to 15 times, and it will actually keep aside on a rack. So we don't want that. So what we are creating is we are creating modular add-ons. Like if I can give an example, there is Legos. You might have played with it. So if you are having a Legos kit and you build something and you are getting bored, you will buy one more Lego kit and you will build something else. So in our drone kits, it is like that. After the drone kit purchase, you can buy modular add-ons. There are different add-ons. I can give an example of four. So first is pick and drop mechanism. So you can actually make that and attach to the drone. Now your drone can pick and drop things, and you can understand the real world example of what a drone usage is in delivery. Second is the surveillance mechanism. So a drone has an infrared night vision camera, which can actually detect human bodies if there is anything apart from the building, and it can see through walls. So that type of a camera and gimbal system you can attach to a drone, and then you can actually control it with your app, that where direction you have to see and what is it doing. In this, you can also develop a following robot that you can actually program it through our app, and it will follow you while you are walking. So the third is us. We have talked about pick and drop and surveillance mechanism. Third is precision farming mechanism. So basically, it will be a sprayer mechanism that you will make and attach. Now you will learn that how farmers are using it. So it you can fill in it water or a room freshener, and it will have a sprinkler, which nozzle you can actually adjust through the software according to your needs. You can actually tilt it and adjust it. And you in room you can fly and understand how it actually works. So it will actually give you the real world insight. Now the fourth is quite interesting. It is a non-lethal shooting mechanism. So basically, you can actually, we will give you two options. You can actually fill darts or paintball guns, or that is paintball coins in it, and you can play. If you are two or three, four friends, so you can play along with drones. Because in college time, we have had a competition where we burst balloons with the help of a drone. So actually, it will be encouraging and then actually going into the drone with a fun side, because it will be a good sport for you also. Now, the second thing what we are doing is, whether it is the second vertical, if we are talking about apart from this, so it is we are making flight controller in India. Now, there are many companies who are claiming that they are building flight controllers in India, and I'm not defaming anyone here. So basically, what the companies are doing is they are creating hardware of the flight controller, that is the outer body, and the inner firmware, which is basically the software and everything this is coded. It is actually used from the open source platforms. So what we are doing is we are building from scratch the firmware also. So that is the thing that we are doing different. That is the USP that what we are doing. We are actually creating the firmware also, and there is some things like GPS denied environment, RTK module. So we are integrating everything, and we are also creating an additional firewall, and we will modify it according to the customer needs. Because in current flight controllers, what we are also using, so we are facing a difficulty at some times, that we cannot do proper PID stabilization, or we cannot do the things which are required briefly. So if we are making it from the scratch, so anything the consumer needs, like if we are contacting with the Indian military and they need something that is to be included in it, so we can directly include in the firmware, because we have only made it, so we know how to include it. So that will be a major plus point if we can develop it, because India can only grow in drones if it has its own firmware in flight controllers. So that are our two verticals currently. We have thought on a larger scale also, but currently on the step-by-step execution, we are working on the two. We have completed the pre-product development, and now we are in the product development phase.
Brilliant. So a couple of questions that I have around your the introduction that you shared, right? Can you tell me a bit more about BVLOS?
Okay, so what is BVLOS? So BVLOS is actually a short form or an abbreviation for Beyond Visual Line of Sight Drones. So currently, if we are flying a drone and it goes behind our line of sight, so actually while training the students also, they'd lost some of our drones, costly drones, because it went out of their line of sight, and then controlling it is quite difficult. So at the night side, when the light is too dim, so you can actually have a question that currently AI monitored drones or the coded drones are there. So actually the line of sight depends on the visibility. And if the visibility is nil or zero because of the lighting condition, and the drone cannot fly. Also the signals disrupt and everything is there. So beyond visual line of sight, drone is a necessity, because if at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in night, somebody has an urgent heart transplant or an urgent injection is needed to be transferred. So at that point, an drone can be a plus point because it can go in the short routes. And if talking about a helicopter, so an helicopter takes more time than a drone to travel with it. So actually, if BVLOS is developed, so the major boost or the major help which is created as in medical industry, because at night also or at any time it can actually travel without the vision and it can get to that site.
Fair enough. And can you tell me a bit more about flight controller?
Okay. So basically, if you are using a laptop or a computer, so there is a motherboard in it. It is actually the brain of the laptop or a computer. So in a drone, actually, the brain of a drone is flight controller. So what is a flight controller is we are programming anything, or we are actually calibrating the motors with the ESCs, electronic speed controllers. So everything is processed inside a flight controller. So it is basically the brain. If we are not having a good flight controller, we cannot fly a drone. Like we are having different categories of flight controllers in the market, which are actually China based. There's Pixoc, PM2.8, KK2 board. So if all the prices are different, like Pixoc starts from 18 to 20,000, then APM is 5 to 6,000, and KK2 board is 800 to 1200. So basically, if you are using KK2 board, controlling and stabilizing the drone is quite difficult. If you are a pro, you can do that with that also, but it is very difficult if you are using it. APM makes it quite stable, and with Pixoc, it is very stable. Like you can actually hover the plane and set an altitude, and it will actually not. If you are pushing also the drone, then also it will not go away from the place. So the stability and everything depends on the flight controller, because as your laptop RAM and the Intel core processor increases, so that also is the same in the drone, that everything is in the flight control. So PID stabilization means if I am having my drone and I want to actually make it hover around and I want to make it stabilize, I want to change the PID values. So that we cannot do easily with the current drone, that is the Pixoc and everything, because that has been coded already and it has some basic things. Because if we change the PID stabilization, then while flying a drone, your drone can actually tilt down or it can disbalance in the position. So it is quite a dangerous thing. So if we are having our own self, like if we are also giving you that you can change the PID, so that will only be done after trial and error phase, because you will actually test it on different values and check it that your values are actually correct or not. Because theory and practical has a differentiation, and that is the major place where R&D costs much. Because after theory, the theory you will do on laptop and the software packages will only cost you. But while trial and error phase, you will actually fly the drone multiple times and it will crash. So you will have to displace the parts. You will have to do many things around it.
Now, can you tell me? So, from what I understand, uh, the from a legal perspective, what I thought was every drone that we fly requires a license. But you told me you have two articles, one of which does not require a license. So, can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, so according to DGCA, drones are categorized based on the weight, is the total weight of it. So the drones below 250 grams of weight. So DGCA has categorized them as nano drones. So they doesn't require license, because they will not cause any harm. Because a nano drone of 250 grams that is flying, and if it comes between a plane or something, so it will not make any sense, because it is lighter than a bird weight. So because in a plane the major incidents are there, that is a bird hitting, that is normally caused in planes. So a nano category drone cannot cause difference. Also, it cannot fly at a very high altitude, because it is 250 grams, so it cannot withstand the wind levels. So that doesn't require license. Based on the things that it can also be used if you're tracking, so you can use it and you can take it to the airport, because DGCA also allows made in India nano drones. You can take and travel it if it is a license and it's certified by the government. You don't require a license to fly a nano drone, because it is actually very small. Now after 250 grams, there are 3-4 categories more, that is 500 gram, 2 to 5 kg. So for that you require a license, because at 500 grams, you can actually build a bigger drone. Just a second, I can show you. Yeah, so basically, this is a nano category. This is another drone. The frame, actually, we had designed it and we are working. It is a prototype we are working on. So currently, we have dismantled it. So if you're flying this a big drone, so you will require a license, because actually it seems big and you can actually carry a bigger thing with it. But what a nano drone is, if I can say you, so just a second. So it will be actually lesser than this. It will be half than this. So it will come to my palm. So that will not cause any difference. Because
Fair
if in a
enough.
drone, if we are talking about 250 grams, so it is not 250 grams, because we actually keep a Lysian area, that is, it will be only 200 grams or 150 grams. So it will be lesser than your phone and it can come to your palm. So it will not be a much difference. But the drone I shown you, so it also has landing gears on it. So it makes it
Okay.
quite big.
Got it. So this is primarily your target market is students. Is there an age group that you are focused on?
Actually, if I'm saying you currently, so we are not targeting India.
Okay.
Actually, we are trying to build a global brand, because this is a need of the whole world currently. It is a globally needed thing, and currently nobody is working on it. If I can tell you quite easily, is that in India, the major sector in the drone is agriculture sector. Everybody is working on the agriculture sector. Every drone company is going on the agriculture sector. In global market, it is the R&D sector. In the UAE and other markets, it is the defense sector. So everybody is been starting their startups on the sectors which are being targeted by the government and which are being required there. But the thing that we are building is not currently too much in the global sector. There are some players, and that I told has some we have some USPs from them. Now, why we are targeting the global sector is that everybody from the world, because we in the IITs we also have US and other students. So if everybody knows of the drones from an earlier stage, so it is easy from them for them also. For one more thing, like after 12th you choose the streams. So if you're making a drone, so you can know that, because with the booklets we will also tell you what are the aerodynamics principle, what are the basic principles behind. So you will also know that you want to opt aerospace engineering or not, because it is not an easy subject. Currently in India also some of the colleges has it. So basically, if you are selecting a core stream, because actually in the college they will tell you that you can take mechanical, so take aerospace, but it is not that. They are totally different from the perspective. So for selecting it also, you will actually get a bigger perspective if you are using our kits. And second thing also, you will actually have a more precision of what a drone does, because we will actually be launching every 2 or 3 months, we will be launching one modular add-on. I've told you about four. There are many others. Like there is a stair climbing mechanism. So your drone can actually crawl up to the stairs. There is some other mechanism that you can extinguish fire. So there are hundreds of mechanisms that are being developed as a DIY and everything. But that is on YouTube. And if you will make it, it will cost you a very higher price, hefty price. And second thing, you cannot actually code it to that level also, because it is quite difficult, because the persons who have uploaded it had been working on it, has a PhD on their name. So the thing is that if I'm getting that kit to you where you can kill the modular add-ons, so it will actually help you to build a drone that an VTech guy builds, or that an MTech guy doesn't research on, because the this add-ons that we are building, this are the add-ons that are being put up a research paper on. So people are basically developing it, so it can create your uh, mind sight very higher. So targeting global audiences, that in India, if I can tell you the harsh reality. So in India, if there is a child of ours also, if he is telling us buy a 15-20,000 kit, so parents will say it that rather buy a 5,000 course for CSC or something. But the thing is that in the global market in US and other things, they easily buy these kits because they want their children to play with something useful. Like if our parents or anybody from your relative, if they have gone US or something, so they will get a mechanics kit or an aeroplane kit that are very advanced there. So in India, we don't find them, because in India, the people don't buy them. In USA, they easily buy them because they want their children not to play with the kitchen set and everything. They want them to play with something which will give them some insight or which will tell them something. Because they have very deep kits in motorcycles also. Like you will fill actually petrol in it and it will run. So that is the sector in USA, and the price point is not much, because for them the average salary is 5 to 4.5K a month, and the kit will only cost $400. So it will very basic for them. So that is why we are targeting global market, because the consumer sales will only be driven by the global market. In India, we are only focusing on getting to lot of colleges and schools, and we are also in talk with the MP government. Once our product is developed, so we can get the drone school contract. So the government drone school will also have our labs. So once that is set up, so it will actually be a more viable way, because the students can go to their colleges and schools, and there in the lab they can work on the kits, and they, if they like it, then they can purchase from our site. Because in India we are targeting, basically our target in India is B2B and B2G. So that is our target. And B2B, basically it will come from out of India only, because currently, as of market research, in India, actually there is a saying in business that don't play on the price point. If you are a growing business and if you have a deep insight, then don't play on the price. But in India, every business stuck on the price point level only, because if you are having a good quality at 100, then the people will buy the bad quality at 20, because they're happy with it. So that's why at the price point level, because we can't reduce it too much. Currently, if you are building a drone, it will cost you up to 40 to 45,000 if you are building a good drone. Now we are getting that to you at 20,000 or now. Then also it is a big price point for persons. That is what why we are targeting the global market.
Got it. And let's talk about the product, right? Like, so you said it's going to cost me 20,000 if I wanted to buy a kit, and it's going to come with educational tips in terms of the soldering, and I'm part of the ecosystem. So all of these things are included. Now, what if for some reason I kind of break it, or like there's some part of which while I was working on it, I made a mistake. So how do we go about that? Like, do I reach out to you and say that, listen, uh this part of it which is already not functioning when I got it, or while I was working on it I made a mistake and now it's not functioning anymore, and how do we go about that interaction?
Yeah, for while actually curating the kit, we have thought about that the same. So in our website, if you go, so we have some of the rendered AI images for the kits. So basically, if you are buying so there is a basic thing that the propellers break. So we are giving you extra pair of propellers in the kit. Apart from there is a customize option. First is the basic kit, and then there is a customizable option. So in the customizable option, actually you can actually select the frames, because a drone is not only a quadcopter; it is a bicopter, tricopter, hexacopter, octacopter. So along with that, you can actually select different frames. If you want to buy 3 frames, you can buy 3 frames. And along with every kit, you will get 2 motors and 2 ESCs extra. So if there is anything that you can actually build it up, and you can actually sort it out. Because the other things, that is the battery and all. So currently there are battery sequences, also the battery blast and everything. So we will be creating that is a safety layer of silicon and everything, and we will giving you the battery that it will not affect, and if it will heat also, it will burst in the bubble itself and it will not affect anything. So we are actually focusing on safety, because we are going for the school sector, and that's why our R&D is taking much time. And currently we are bootstrapped, so also the funds in my hand are also running out. So that is the thing, we are actually slowing it up down, because currently as a engineer and working on the sector, so if we are having good amount of funds, so we can launch the product this December also. But the thing is that, because in colleges we have worked late at nights, like 3 a.m. in the workshop, and we have, like, today, tomorrow is the event, tonight we have set up the track, and tomorrow the event happened and everything went good. So we had done that things also. So we know that the time is never a constant, because if you are actually want to build something, then you can do day and night. So that is the sector. Currently, the most thing that what a startup facing today is about the monetary sector. Now, second thing clarifying about the part is that in the 20,000 kit, currently it is 20,000, because I am not, I told you that after it we will be working on the other updates, that is the more verticals. So our third vertical is basically manufacturing, that we will process after we are launching every product, and we are recurring the revenue. So currently we will be outsourcing the parts from Indian vendors only, so that will cost us much. Now we are trying to set up a manufacturing unit. Once we set it up, so what is in my mind is, we can reduce that cost to another 5 to 10,000. So your kit will cost you around 9 to 15,000. So we are trying to cut the price in Indian market, because we know that price is basically a point of concern, because that is not a salary of much. But for that, actually, we require some revenue in hand, because setting up a manufacturing unit is quite costly. And in India, if we set up a full-fledged manufacturing unit, so it will also be easy for Indians. They will get a made in India parts, and we will be actually independent from Chinese imports. So for setting up the manufacturing units and to get up all the regulatories, we require a hefty amount of money. That is, to set up a full-fledged manufacturing unit for all the parts of the drone, we require around $1 million. That we can only do after 2 to 3 years of execution and currently getting up the revenue. It's the starting phase. We are giving you around 20,000 because that is an starting phase, or EBITDA and the profit margins are very, very less, because we are not thinking about profit in starting months, because we know that we can make a long term profit. Because there is a saying that if you are starting a business, give 1,000 days in it, and then you will actually learn how it will grow, because you have to give time and efforts in it. So we are not thinking about profit much at this unit time, because we know that we have a scope of growth. So currently we are only planning step by step execution, because we can, I can also go with the manufacturing unit setup right now. We can start, but then we have to stop in mid because it requires a lot of monetary funds. And in India, as you might have also seen many news channels, blogs, and everything, they are telling that the angel investors in India are dying out, because actually the thing is that the investors, it is not a fault of the investors that they are not investing. Every third house is creating a startup, because India has SISFS scheme, they are giving money. So there is many corruption in the scheme also. Then many consultants came, we have to pay them, then they will give us, they have directly contacted the incubators. Then there are many startups. Everything is categorizing them as a startup. So that is a major thing, because the tech startups, so basically in that also, if there is anything which is already been worked on, already been discussed, that is again somebody's opening, and that is a startup. So previously there are only 1,000 startups around when started. So angel investors are eager, and they get the pitch deck, so they read it. Now, in a day, I read a LinkedIn post of one of the investors. So he told daily he get around 10,000 emails. So in that,
My
how
God.
can he sort it out what pitch deck is better? Because actually everyone is pitching out, everybody wants money. And if you can see that 90% of the startups which are actually they are creating the startup, it only because they want some money start, and then they want to exit it, and then want to get money in it. Because there is one more company, that is electric car company in Bangalore, which got bankrupt because they bought the money they have raised, they have bought houses and around Delhi, Ludhiana. So that is basically a thing that everybody wants right now, is that they think that this is an easy money. And because of that, the persons who are really interested in building and who really have an idea worth it, they doesn't get a deep insight. So I don't think that the investor problem is in this same thing, because they also know that currently the sector is like that. Everybody wants to start, and that is the thing. Now, if also talking about the pocket size, so everybody have a wallet size for investments. So in India, the wallet size start from around 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, and it goes around 1 CR, 2 CR. But in US, the pocket size for bigger investors starts from $1 million. So that is also a sector that we are targeting the global market in a way, because it will make our growth faster than compared to starting just in India.
So I remember you mentioned that there are pretty much a couple of use case scenarios that you can use these drones for. So while I was doing my research, I understood that in the a couple, I mean, different parts of the world, there's research around understanding which specific part you can actually pour water in to put out a fire using a drone. Plus, there is a bigger drone that follows, which can actually put out the fire because it studies the area, and there's so much more data that you get around it. So, is there some sort of a research that's happening in India in, forget defense, but at least in terms of safety or maybe in fire?
Actually, if I could talk you briefly, we have been working on a separate idea that is also related to drones only, and we are trying to open a company in Bangalore with some of my friends who are actually currently in IBM and Microsoft. So we are working on that idea, and that is a great idea. Currently, that is basically based out of safety concerns only. But creating that ideation and everything stage, so we all thought that we will actually put in our money and start it. But the thing is that when I got in the depth of it, and then I explained my friends also, they're trying to invest too much money in it. But I told them that spending money on something that is going from our own pockets at the starting stage, because they will not actually leave the company on the starting also, because they are putting in them. So it will not be a good option, because to hire a good engineer in the UAV and robotics sector, you will require a salary package of 6 to 12 lakhs. So at an annual salary package 12 lakhs, we require around 4 persons on it. Apart from that, we require flight controllers engineer, some softwares, because MATLAB and all softwares, they cost 5 to 6 lakhs annual packages. So the license also costs, and in commercial you cannot use open source softwares. You have to use licensed softwares. Now the second thing is that in the fire and execution, there is a huge gap, I know, because if you can see that if there is a wildfire, so amphibian aircraft goes, which actually fuels in the water, pulls in the water from the sea or something, and then they comes and drops the water. So there is a huge gap in the fire sector, and we thought of an idea with the swarm drones in it. So there is technology that we can develop, so it will be made 1,000 times easy and 1,000 times fast. Actually, the everything like the fire, it blushes out easily. So we had actually developed the initial model also. But then what we thought is that just starting without funds is not an option in that, because it if we are building a swarm drone, so we have to start from 12 to 50 drones. Now to set up a lab and 12 to 50 drones plus monthly expenditure, operations cost, so it is actually costing a hefty amount of money. So for that, currently we are looking for somebody if they are up to work with us, because that is a company that we are not making for profit anyways. We can do it public limited also. That is something which we are making for cause, because in the safety and everything, it can be made much easier, like you said, that the research are being going on. So currently we are also working on the same phase, because in the drone sector and the aerospace sector, you know that this is the last sector where the innovations will never end, because we have 100% of things which are going out of space, and out of space you can only grow with the aerospace sector. So it is a sector which in which the innovation never ends, like in the roadways and everything. They have created supercars and everything, but now what? You cannot do something other than that. So in the aerospace sector, you can go out outer universe and everything with aerospace. So in this sector, because of that amount of things, actually it cost much and much in R&D. If somebody is asking us how, there are some questions in the interviews and pitch decks, that how much will your kit, making a kit will cost you. So the thing is that the initial kit cost is higher, and because there will be R&D involved. Because the people and investors, they don't understand that in this sectors actually the R&D is a lot more work, because previously before the pre-production also it contains 3D modeling, FE analysis, quality development, paper development. So that everything we had actually already done. So that is a lot. It takes a lot of time, because there are many companies which are working on VTOLs and VTOL aviation models, so that they are working on different papers for it and everything on it. So the R&D costs very higher in the sector which we are working on. That's why in India, lot of people are not working on that, because government and everything is currently focusing on agriculture only. And I don't think that in agriculture it is a very researching sector or researching environment, because in agriculture drone you will just have a sprayer mechanism, it will spray and you will automate it through AI and everything. So that is a thing we have already in our market, and it is a technology we already had. So why to actually boom a sector which is already developed?
Now, I've heard a lot about how you require a license for drones. Can you tell me how a normal person like me can go about getting that license?
If you are trying to get a drone license, that is drone pilot license, so basically there are many RPTO setup, that is remote pilot licensing, that is training operations, like somewhat that are colleges or something like a unit. So there you will have trained pilots and trained instructors, so they will charge you around 40 to 60,000 rupees for drone license. So you will actually pay them, they will actually teach you through the simulator that our drone flies, and they will give you the original drone, they will make you fly. So they will make a eight, where you will have to make a eight around in the air with the drone. You will have some of the writing tests, that what are the types of the drones, what is everything. Then after it, after मतलब क्या बोलते हैं, evaluating your performance and everything, they actually certify you as a drone pilot license. So this is done by the RPTOs, which are being signed by DGCA. So basically, they have opened different RPTOs in everywhere. Like there are many RPTOs right now. So there they will teach you. They will actually. It is like a school only. You will go there 3 to 5 days. You will be there, and after that you will get your license. It's just like a boot camp. You will pay and get your license.
So I've seen a lot of drones for weddings, right? I'm sure like it's comparatively probably like a very simple execution of drone compared to like what you are working on. But do they actually have licenses?
A drone for
The
wedding.
drones that they use for wedding photography and
Yeah. So
videography?
basically, the person who's flying a drone, they have drone license, because
Okay.
they have to take license if they are flying a drone. Now, secondly, what drone they use is basically DJI's drone. So DJI's drones is already banned in India. So basically, they are using DJI drone, and also it is basically quite stable. If you are also leaving the drone with some of the code in the DJI app, so it will work automatically also. So it is a very stable drone. So if without a license also you are flying a DJI drone, so you can fly it quite easily than a regular drone. So it is not much of a concern. And also every drone in India has to be registered to DGC. So like a car has a registration number, every drone has a registration number on the DGC platform. So you can also register your app directly to the DGCA website. So there you will get your credentials and everything. And apart, if a wedding photographer is there, so basically they hire. If you are getting a drone license at 30-40,000. So I have seen many diploma agents or 12th pass, they are getting a drone license at 30-40,000. Now they are getting around 18 to 20,000 initial salary per month. And then it is going up to 60-70,000.
Got it. That's very interesting. Now, can you tell me a little bit about the cost that you incur for building this? Do you build this here in India? Your insourcing, I understand that you do it from vendors here in India. Is there any part of it that's from China, or like are you purely like in a make for India, made in India model?
Yeah, currently, as of this stage, that I told you that we have done the pre-product development. So we have actually listed the vendors in a Excel sheet. So I can tell you on a different basis. Firstly, we have listed the Indian vendors. Then we have listed the US, UAE vendors. Then we have listed the Chinese vendors. Because in cost comparison, the Chinese vendor will always win. So that's why we have kept it at last. So firstly, we will actually contact every Indian vendors, because in India they are developing different drone parts currently. There are many companies developing it. But what are our technical specifications are different from what actually currently drones use. The drone I had shown you uses around 980 kV of motor. So for the nano drone, we require a motor of a different technical specification, which is not easily available. So that we have actually created a list, but we have not processed it further. So we will reach out to them with the technical specification that if they can make us a motor like this, so we will actually in-source from India, because there are companies which can do it, and I also have some of the companies in contact. So we think that we can do it in India, all the parts. But if it is not possible to do it in India, then we will actually try to outsource from USA or other companies. So I also have there is a US community, DFX. So we are in that community. So it has a lot of manufacturing and other people. So I think that they might can help us. Also, based on the flight controller will be ours only. We are doing it in India. There are many companies who will get us the board, and the technology will be outsourced. Like we will be creating the designing. We will send the design, and then they will just print and send us back. So that way we will actually create the initial kits, and then after, if the people show support, then we can create the manufacturing unit itself. So it will cost us a lot down.
Got it. Now, are you currently live, or how soon can I expect to purchase a kit from your website?
Yeah, so currently, basically, there is a serious family emergency last month in my family. That is a demise of a close member. So for that, for 1 to 1.5 months, let this nearly, it is around 1 month only. So I have not been actually active to the company because of that condition. I'm not in a emotional and mental state. So currently, I've got back into the path, and I'm having daily interactions with some person. So currently what we are looking for is we are looking for any funds like debt also we are looking for, so we can actually create the product. So we are currently in the state we are looking for funds. Now second thing is we are also started pilot programs. So we are in a state that we are signing MOUs with one college here, and we are also planning if we can get more colleges, we can sign up the MOUs with them, because we can create drone labs for them, we can train the officials. So it will be our pilot program. So we will also get the feedback of them, we will also get some revenue in the hand. With that we can kill advanced that is drone kits easily in the time, because actually everything that is done, that is 3D modeling, FE analysis, that is already done. Now we just had to put it in a pen drive, and we just have to 3D print it. So that is everything now, which has to be done is easy, but it is actually cost efficient, because we will have to do the trial and error phase. And the 3D printer also, with we have a 3D printer, but actually it takes a much time also creating different parts and then assembling it. So if we are getting funds around December, so we are trying to get live in the second quarter of next year. Actually, we can also get live in the first quarter. We thought to actually launch our flight controller model 1 this Diwali, but due to some unforeseen circumstances, we
Thanks.
cannot do it. So we are planning to do it we can launch it December or the second quarter of 2026 based on the availability of funds.
Perfect. And currently, you're looking for funding, and you have started reaching out to investors, and you're in that phase.
Yeah, actually, I've reached out to many investors. Actually, we had also got call from IIM Kolkata. They also liked our idea of working in the sector. So actually, everybody likes our idea, but the thing is that some incubators don't have funds. So that is a basic concern. Now, some other things is that there are many consultancy. As I told, there is a corruption in the sector. So there are many consultancy with charges. And currently, I don't want to go by that phase that I am starting a business by giving them money and then also giving them success fee. Because there are many startups which does that. But I think that ethics is the first thing as a businessman you have to have. So I don't want to have corruption. If they are helping us fairly, then it is fine. But because if the incubator is giving us the preference and instead of there is somebody who is in need of it much more than us, then it will be a bad thing for. So that's why we are not currently entertaining anyone who is actually charging us and doing these things. So currently we are actually doing it ourselves only. We are into many investors communities and everything. Currently about it, so what we are looking is, so we are actually okay with debt also at interest rate of 12 to 18%, because we know that we can actually pay the debt off in 1 to 1.5 years. Because our kit launch will also have a pre-order phase, which will go globally. And if we are only having 0.5% of the kit order purchase of our estimated value, then also we can pay off the debt within the 1 year. So that is the estimated time that we.
Got it. Can you tell me what is the next 6 months going to look like for Axxentraa?
Yeah. So currently, as the talking of now is that currently we are thinking of pilot programs. So now actually my co-founder, we are actually refining our pitch and the business documentations quite. So we will be doing this this month. That's refinement and everything, and we will process for some of the things that is required for funding. And in the next month, in the end of the week, we will be hiring. So for that, there will be official channels, like we will be hiring through our website and LinkedIn. So we will post for hiring. Then after hiring, we are trying to set up offices. So I have two places in mind, that is either Indore or Udaipur, based on the better circumstances. So we will be setting up an office in Indore or Udaipur. And our internships now, because we have interns previously, which are very dedicated interns and they are good. So we'll also reach out to them. And we want to hire currently for offline roles only, because pre-product development is completed in a startup. I think that working offline is a better option. So we will be actually having work from office from either Udaipur or Indore. And then in the next months, we will be actually developing that prototype. That is firstly the product. Then after the initial product is developed, we will actually go live with the product. That is like in LinkedIn and everything. We will post that our product is completed and now website pre-orders is done. Then there are many platforms that our campaign is already built. Now we just have to make it live. So that we are not doing right now. So that we will do right now once our product is developed. So on the Kickstarter platform and Indiegogo, we will actually run our campaigns. Then we will, once our product is developed, I also told you about the state ministers meeting. So we will also have that 2-3 meetings that we want to have. So once that everything is done, so we are hoping for a positive response. Or if not, we can also, if not that, we will actually work hard. And on the 6 months, we are trying 6 month, sixth month after the Kickstarter campaign got 1 to 1.5 months. So we are thinking that we can get around a good revenue or a good amount of pre-orders or the things, because to a number of people that I have talked, they're interested in buying it. Like in Udaipur also, when I'm having talking in a community, so they, while talking about the startup only, they gave me 5 to 6 orders of a drone for their trips and everything. So they're interested in these things also. On the second way, if you are making it in India, you can actually take it to the airport also, and you can take it to the baggage to the next city also, because it is already made in India and it is also certified. So that is the thing that we are working on. So the next 6 months will possibly look like a more R&D focused, more of a connection focused, and more of a certification focused, because we will also be doing safety and regulation tests, because it is going to a minor and children's also. That.
Got it. And finally, one question that I had around the Kickstarter campaign that you're going to do. I thought a private limited company in India cannot be part of the Kickstarter campaign, or do you have a company registered elsewhere?
Yeah, basically, in the Kickstarter campaign, but we are thinking of going in. So actually, in the Indian bank accounts are not admissible to it because there is an RBI guideline in 2019 or 2021 which created some of the key differences receiving foreign funds. So that's why Stripe doesn't allow us with an Indian bank account to go and register in it. So we are thinking of if you can also know that there are many companies who have an office in SPPano, that is one of those city. So basically, in that city or in US also, you can create an office that is virtual headquarters. So we are trying to opt for something like that, virtual headquarter. So we will get an access to the Kickstarter campaigns also, and because we are trying to reach out globally. So this will be a better option to set up a virtual headquarter in different cities. Also, we have some of the persons who are interested in the kits and the flight controllers in UAE also. So we are trying to expand globally. Basically, creating a virtual headquarter there will give us permissions to hire their talent also. So we will get a huge bulk of that is applicants and currently applications also. There are around 1,000 interviews we have took and only 5 to 6 persons are viable of the talent that they show in the resume. So that is also a big concern. So we are thinking about setting up a headquarter.
That's mostly whatever I wanted to cover. Thank you so much for your time. This is actually very insightful for me because this is a space I have no clue about. I've seen drones at weddings. I've a couple of friends who actually use drones. I've seen them flying it, but it's a very intriguing space, and I believe there's a lot of future for it. So thank you so much for building what you're building. I think the fact that it's actually built in India is very like it's a brilliant thing. And yeah, I wish you guys all the best. I really hope you guys are able to raise funding, and then we'll be trying and pushing this as much as possible from our end to see if we can try and help you get funding as well.
Thank you, Georgie. It was nice talking to you. And it had been a first podcast interaction for Axxentraa. Like we have been in some meetings, but there is not an interaction which is quietly different from the revenue model and the business model because we have been doing that with different kind of clients. So it has been a good insight because we also, basically the thing that we are doing is we are from the technical background only. We are in the drone sector and we are the founders. So it is easy for us to build a business in this sector because there are 90% of the drone startups, they have businessmen as the founders. So they only see is the recurring revenue. They know, then do not know no potential of the technology aspect. So we actually are from the same background. So we like talking about the technology much. So me and my founder also, there is a usual discussion that we have that if there is anything that we are developing. So firstly, we both research them and then we find the topics and we discuss amongst ourselves. So that if there is anything that we can both don't agree on. So how can we get that to the market?
Got it.
So that is a good interaction with you, Georgie, and we think that it helps both of us. And anyways, that we are on a roadmap. We think that we can succeed if we are consistent to it.
Yeah, I really hope you guys actually do because from the kind of passion that I've seen in the last 15 minutes of our interview, I'm actually quite impressed with what you're doing and how you're doing it. And the fact that you actually spoke about ethics, brilliant. Like, that's not what a lot of people actually voice openly. And thank you so much for what you're building. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Georgie. Nice to meet
Good
you.
day.